way that you will find it somehow. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you're not too old to accomplish goals, and all the answers are within your soul. It's up to you, you gotta figure it out. Whether you want love or money, good fortune or fame, you want a brand new car, you want the world to change, you better take some action right now. Oh yes, because there's nothing in the world that you can't get. So don't fill your life with confusion and regret. You better take some chances right now.
All right, coming to you live from Altamont Springs, Florida. This is Young Casper representing RFN Radio. It's not going to be an easy show for me today, by any means necessary. I didn't have a great weekend, and we'll talk about that today for sure. A little bit of my story. We're also going to it's just about change. We all have different things in our lives that we need to change. And if we don't, it will definitely consume us. And, yes, it's going to be a tough episode, and you're just going to have to bear with me. It hasn't been easy. After being arrested Friday, really Saturday morning, 2:00, I've been dealing with some very, very deep depression and conviction. I almost honestly didn't even want to do the show today, but I realized it probably would be best if I did. And just to cover everything we're going to be going over today, it's going to be a couple verses out the Bible that I believe that I needed, and maybe you need it as well. I don't know exactly what you're facing right now in your life, or what's kind of holding you back from, what you really need to do, and not what you only need to do, but your happiness. And, we've all fallen short, and I'm owning up though. I'm not making any more excuses for the things that I've done. And, this is just a little bit of the story. So here it goes. Friday night, started after playing basketball with a good friend of mine. I started to drink after at my friend's house. A few beers turned into a glass of wine, which later on turned into shots and more beer, and more than likely more shots. I got dropped off at home, and that's when it got blurry. And it really started to get blurry even before then. Things started to definitely, I definitely blacked out, and in and out of consciousness, probably basically. And it's, before I even go any more into the story, I've been dealing with it for a while. I don't drink every day, but I have a problem with drinking, a binge drinker, and as I got dropped off, I remember seeing cops in front of me trying to calm me down. They were nice, and I wasn't, from what I can recall, and obviously in the report. It ended up me being put in a cop car and took into jail, where I was told I made a lot of noise and banging against the door by other inmates that came in around the same time I did. I later woke up in a holding cell where I felt really depressed and thirsty for water. Once I was calm, I went through the booking process as I began to sober up, which took a very long time. I realized I must have made a fool of myself, and then I was put in a bigger cell unit with other new inmates, transitioning to either population after seeing a judge or bailed out. As I was in there, like I stated, I had conversations with others that saw me first come in before booking, being loud and reckless. Don't even remember this. told me what they witnessed. While being in there, I thought about my actions, the ones that I could really even remember. But there was a lot of blanks, like I've stated, in my memory. I don't remember, as it says, the coffee table in the living room was upside down. The lamp was on the ground. And there was just a lot of unnecessary loudness and just being belligerent. And getting more deep into it, I felt really low in the holding cell, at which I was in there by myself, because I was obviously intoxicated and not even knowing what I was doing. I tried to call an ex of mine, because this is after I got into the bigger units to where all the other inmates were that were transitioning into population or getting bailed out, because her number was one of the two I remembered. I didn't want to call home first, or just yet at that time. Didn't get through to her. Later I tried calling parents, didn't go through, so I called my bail bondsman that I knew, Magic Bail Bonds, which is literally right across the street from the jail, and pleaded he help me get out. And we talked, and he helped me get out. And the reason why I say I know him, because when I was 21, I was arrested as well. So this is a pattern, and you can see why I'm pretty depressed and down. But I got arrested for basically almost a similar thing, but a little different. Not at my house. And resist without violence and public intoxication. This time I got just intoxication, not obedient, or something like that. Whatever it was. I can't even think about it right now. I'm just so down and out. Like I said, this is going to be tough for me. Anyways, I pleaded to him to get me out of there, and he did. So as I got released, once I did, I walked to the dealership close by and called my parents, which at first I didn't even want to tell them. I just wanted to tell them that I was going to be okay, and that I didn't think that it'd be okay for me to even stay there. And my mom, just the kind heart that she is, she told me that it's going to be okay and we'll come and get you. So I waited at the dealership for a good half an hour out front. The lady in the dealership was nice enough to give me some water bottles, and you can only imagine what was going through my mind, how I was feeling. I was feeling complete low, because while I was in jail, I started to get my memory back slightly here and there, and I just lashed out at my dad a couple times, and I can't remember too much. And that just goes to show how drunk I really was and how stupid I really was. And I'm not too happy with myself even now. And things were looking up too. Things were looking up pretty good, with the job interview Monday, which it went okay. They told me that they'd give me a call. And back to the story, it makes me realize what alcohol could really do to a person. I'm not a bad person. I just make terrible decisions when I'm drunk. And I let all of my emotions, either angry or sad or depressed or whatever, I rash out. And that was definitely shown in my result of ending up in jail. In jail, I tried to make the best of it. I honestly thought when I first went through booking, I thought that I was going to stay in jail for a while, because I didn't know if I were going to even get bonded out by anyone. And I realized I needed to get out of there when I was in the unit. And, you know, I thank the bail bondsman. You know, he got me out that night. Well, not that night. It was the next day, but it was night. So I wasn't even in there for 24 hours. And I'm thankful for that because, I mean, anyone that's been through jail, it's not fun. It's not fun. You are in a place where there's not much happiness, you know? And I did make the best of it as much as I could by interacting with some of the inmates, just talking about, you know, their issues and what they are charged for. And, you know, I definitely took some time to talk to the Lord and just realize that, you know what, I have a problem. I have a drinking problem, and not only do I have a drinking problem, I've also had drug problems in the past as well. But I have gotten a lot better with that due to, you know, working on getting a job. And I've been dealing with depression that I've done such a great job covering it up. Covering it up very, very intensely with my smile and with my faith, even covering it up. And it's only up to me really to change overall, because I mean, God's going to only do what he can do, and the people around me are only going to do what they can do. At the end of the day, I'm the only one that can calm the storm in me. And I just want to put this foremost before I even go forward in this episode, that, you know, I have been battling with depression very deeply, not having the greatest thoughts. And this has been going on for years and years. And I know that it has a big thing to do with drugs and alcohol, you know. And I thought, oh, well, it'll all get better eventually, you know. But I come to realize, and it's not easy for me to say this, but I do need help. I need help. And I know I'm going to get it. And I don't only need the Lord's help. The Lord's always going to be with me regardless. But I need professional help. Professional help, because my actions and my thoughts, doesn't matter how much I can try to cover it up, they haven't been good. They haven't been good. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I can't say that it's easy. It's not meant to be easy to admit that you're wrong. It's not easy to admit that you have let things just kind of build up. And I could sit here and make excuses of, oh wow, I haven't had a girlfriend, or I haven't had a job, and this and that. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, my past relationships, they definitely take a toll. But at the end of the day, you know, I've known what I've had, this depression, for a while, and I've kind of put it on the back burner, so to speak. And it's definitely coming out now. It's definitely coming out now, and I realize that for me to go to jail, that's a big thing. Because I'm not a criminal. Have I done a lot of criminal things in the past? Yeah, I have. But it'll all work out.